Yo, what's up? Welcome back to the Haunted Basement Studio. I'm your host, Triple B, and in this hardcore comic book review, I am talking Red Sonja, Queen of the Damned, Chapter 2. And this is written by Steve Niles with art by Alessandro Amoruso. And this art is crazy. And this one's going to pick up right where Chapter 1 left off, so let's go. The issue is going to start with us by a fire, and the map that she got from the last issue is being dried, and this map is human skin because the guy died and he said take my map, and so she had to cut the map out of his skin. And as she's sitting there waiting for the map to dry, she says it's not the clearest map, but I think it will do. And we're getting a narration of the Lost Valley, where she is heading, where this map is going to take her to, because this land is filled with gems and riches in the soil. But there is a cursed warlock there. And now Red Sonja is hearing some rumbling, and then she goes and hides behind a boulder, and she sees a big giant dragging a coffin behind him. And as she moves so swiftly through the forest where she's at, she makes it to the giant and says, "You need to stop there." And the giant's like, "If you don't move, I'll kill you," and backhands Red Sonja, and she goes flying like 50 feet and lands up against another boulder. Now, as she wipes the blood from her chin, she says, "You will die, monster." And then she dashes towards him, slicing and dicing him, and then goes smash right down and kills this giant. And then she goes to the coffin and she smashes it open, and she opens it up, and there's a woman in there all tied up. And as she unties her, the woman says, "Oh my God, thank God. I thought I was going to get eaten." And Red Sonja says, "Nobody is getting eaten today." And now the woman says, "How can I ever repay you?" And Red Sonja says, "Well, I am very hungry." "Well, you can come back to my cabin and I'll feed you and you can get some rest." And she says, "Thank you. It has been a long day." And now as they make it to their cabin, Red Sonja looks at her and says, "Are you a witch?" And she says, "You can trust me. My name is Luna." And she says, "Trust is very hard to come by." And Luna says, "Are you looking for someone to trust?" And she says, "Aren't we all?" Now, as Red Sonja is eating, Luna is getting curious and says, "I'm wondering what brings you to this part of the desert. There is really nothing out here." And then Red Sonja says, "I am looking for some place that is not on the map." And now Luna looks at her, "Oh, you are looking for the Lost Valley." Red Sonja is like, "How would you know that?" And Luna says, "Well, your thoughts are conceivably loud." She says, "I don't like my thoughts, and they're my thoughts." She says, "Oh, I'm sorry. Can you tell me more?" And so now Red Sonja, as she eats, she says, "I met a warrior who supplied me with the map to the Lost Valley, where the world fortunes awaits." And she says, "I know the valley," Luna does, "but nobody who ever adventures in there has ever returned. It is a cursed land." And Red Sonja says, "I've heard that, but I do not fear curses." "Well, maybe you should," Luna says. And now Red Sonja says, "Well, if you're afraid, then maybe I shouldn't invite you with me." And Luna says, "I never said I was afraid, though there is much more to fear. We should be cautious." And then Red Sonja looks up at her and says, "Well, I guess I have a travel companion then." Now Red Sonja pulls out the map and they're looking at it, and Luna says, "This is human skin." She says, "Yes, the warrior that gave it to me did not survive." And then all of a sudden you hear bangs from the door, and Red Sonja looks at Luna and says, "Are you expecting company?" She says, "No, I'm not." And a loud scream comes from the door, says, "Come out, you witch." And as they walk out there, it's the big giant, and he says, "You killed my son." And Luna says, "Well, he was going to eat me, and besides the way, she actually killed him," and points at Red Sonja. And as they begin the fight, he says, "You both will die." and he comes chasing after them. But Red Sonja slices off his arm, and then Luna puts some magic spell on him and is holding him. And Red Sonja says, "Hold him." And as she runs towards this giant and jumps off a boulder with her sword up in the air and brings it down on him and decapitates this giant monster. Swoosh! And now Red Sonja and Luna both put their hands on each other's shoulder and says, "Excellent work. Will not bad yourself. In the morning we will depart for the Lost Valley." Man, that was an awesome chapter too. I love how quick it is and just straight to the point. Great artistry, great drawing, great colors. Everything in it is freaking perfect. This thing is still rocking an 8 out of 10 for me, and I can't wait for chapter 3. So if you guys enjoyed this hardcore comic book review, consider hitting the sub button and hit the like button and let me know in the comment section below what you think of any Red Sonja books. But I just want to let you guys know one thing. You remember, you keep it hardcore. Comics! Later!